Hey everybody, this is Jeff Foliage, and this is As the Foliage Turns, episode 11. You may be wondering why I'm out in the garage. Well, normally I'm outside, at least trying to give you an idea of outdoor conditions, but it's a bit windy out there, and all you'd hear is whoosh. And remember, wind is bad. So, we'll talk about that a little bit later here. Okay, so episode 11, and today I'm going to talk about where we went on the 6th and 7th of October. I'm going to talk a little bit about the fairs that are going on this week, and the 11th through the 13th, Columbus Day weekend. Where to look the 11th through the 13th, some reports and some thoughts of mine, and then we'll talk about the temps that could do damage. Okay, and let's get right into it. So it's another sunny day here in Warren, New Hampshire. You would think up until last night, where we had some rain, the last month, if you've come up in September or up till now in October, you probably thought you were in, sunny South California, because it's been warm every day, comfortable, dry, ever so dry, which causes a lot of the problems that we've had with the leaves. The weather's been phenomenal, so that's the one thing you can't complain about is the weather. Normally, this time of year, October, for the last 20 years, it's been rain, clouds, and more rain. And if you got, during a week-long vacation, if you got more than a day or two of sun, you were lucky. I had to be an expert in photographing with the clouds a lot of the times. I don't know what to do with all this sun. Okay, so Monday, 6 October, Lisa and I headed off. We headed out of here over 118, up Route 3, Base Station Road, up Jefferson Notch. Keeping notes? You writing this all down? Okay, good. Route 2, Route 113, and down Route 16. We skipped the Kank. I'm sorry, I don't go on it that much during the season, and I think I've gone on it 3 times already this year. Then we went back on 113 to 25 and back home. That was kind of our big loop for that day. On the 7th, we went down to Ashland, over to Sandwich, New Hampshire, and I'll cover that more later. Okay, so I'll pick up at the Base Station Road. I'll pop in a picture here. Okay, the color along the road, no surprise, was quite pretty, going along the Base Station Road in Crawford Notch, heading towards the Marshfield Station, the cog rail. I did get out, and I'll put a little video in here. Hey everybody, it's Jeff Foliage, and I'm out at the Base Station Road, just below the cog rail, Crawford Notch area. And as you can see behind me, that is not a wallpaper. That is actually some pretty nice color. There's not a lot of it around here. Well, I shouldn't say a lot, but there's bare trees. So let me just, I'm on a little side trail that's right off the Base Station Road. I think it's Tim Nash. And here, let me turn this around. Okay. I found water too. How about that? There you go. This is probably the only water here in New England. And in case you're wondering, yes, I found a red maple tree. Woo! I gotta go hug it. Okay. I'll just let you enjoy the sounds of nature. Okay, and as you can see, the trailhead and the bridge, they weren't anything to write home about. A few years ago I did that, and I had phenomenal color in there. Roadside color, that's keeping us going as far as a lot of the pretty pictures you're seeing. I'll pop another one in here a little bit. But I got back in the car, we headed up to Marshfield Station, and when we got to Marshfield Station, two diesels and the steam engine were getting ready to leave. I just started videotaping them with my phone, and the diesels would go up, and then the steam engine followed. And as I follow them up with the camera, you can see what kind of wonderful fall color is on the sides, the flank of Mount Washington. If you're interested, you like trains, you like fall colors, see the show notes down below. There's a video I put up, it's about 6 minutes, and that's just the trains going up into the fall colors. Breathtaking. That's all I can say, okay? Then we left Marshfield Station, heading back down the Bay Station Road, and I stopped along the way to take some pictures. I found it very easy. I don't know if you can do it if you get there this weekend and you want to do the same thing, but you probably could frame Mount Washington over the road, and on the sides of it, the trees that are lining the road, I found reds, yellows, orange. There's a bunch of trees, or at least there were a bunch of trees. It's kind of windy out there right now. We got a little further down. We veered off into the woods, which was to say we did a connecting road, which is, it takes you from Bay Station Road up to Route 2. This is Jackson Notch Road. I won't say it's a bad road to take. It's not a smooth one. There's a fair number of rocks on it, loose rocks, things like that. You don't feel like you're in danger. I think a sedan, economy class, whatever, could do it. I feel better with more ground clearance, but it's a long, winding road that goes up. And the biggest problem is I've got like one picture of fall color and one picture of a little stream that had a cascade running down it. In general, there is not any color in those hills that are out down in the notch down behind Bretton Woods. A lot of the trees are bare. I don't recommend going up Jefferson Notch Road unless you need to cut short your trip and you want to go from Bay Station Road up to Route 2. It's okay as a shortcut. There's nothing wrong with it. As long as there's no snow, the road remains open. Once you get to Route 2, you're west of Gorham, and that's the direction I took. I went east to Gorham, went through Gorham. There was some color in Gorham, but before I got there and after we got on the other side, the hills to the south side of Route 2 really look like they're going to pop. I think we're going to see fall colors showing up on Route 2 hills. I'll backstep a little bit. Also at Twin Mountain, Route 3 and 302, the junction, the fall colors are beginning to show on those hills. Everybody kind of said, oh, they're just going to drop, they're gone. I don't think they are. I saw, and you'll see a picture right here, I saw reds, greens, yellows, oranges. They're not bright, they're not fully developed, but I think with the cold temperatures that we get, more on that later, cold temperatures, I think if all the temperatures behave themselves, by this weekend, we could see some really nice color in Twin Mountain, okay? Back to Route 2. Same story there. You're going to see some pictures interspersed in here. Well, the colors should hopefully pop out for this weekend, I think, okay? We continued over to Route 113. I would consider this another of those roadside alerts, because all the way along, we saw very nice yellows. There's a lot of ash, beech, birch in those areas. Okay, the colors are not fully developed. There's a lot of greens in there, green, maples interspersed in all there. I'm going to put a video on. I'm going to show you a short bit of it that Lisa captured out the side of the car. One thing I can say is that with her video, you can see that it looks very nice. Now, I don't know how much damage the wind today is going to do, but I still think most of it was still green, or a lot of it was still green. 113 in Maine's, or on Maine's western border with New Hampshire. I think that's going to look very nice come this weekend. When I got to the Evans Notch lookout, many of you know what that is. Here's a picture. The colors are okay, but they haven't really developed yet. Again, this weekend, late Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, I don't know, somewhere in there, I think that's going to pop again. Okay. Now we headed down Route 113, and I got to the basin. I decided pull in there, and as we're driving in, I can see the hills off on my right, and I'm like going, oh, this is not going to be anything all that great. I got out of the car, walked down the boat ramp, and I was like, whoa, hold on. This is a little bit better than I thought. Here's a couple pictures, as I continue talking here, but the hill itself is nice, but nothing to write home about. The far end to the left, I stood out, as far as, without getting my feet wet, and snapped a few pictures down there, and the sun was just glancing in on the trees, and they were very pretty. I don't think they were peaked by any chance, any stretch of the imagination, but they were very pretty. I think you'll agree by looking at those pictures. Another thing is, I'll go into this a little bit, and I'll pop up a couple pictures that I took along Route 113. You have the Wild River, which is right next to Route 113, and I climbed down. Lisa said, there was a nice view down the river, and I climbed down also and went up on a boulder, and I took a picture, the long shot with, just showing, a river shot. Okay, that's okay. But I noticed that there was a pool of water underneath some orange maple. And I went up and over some more boulders, and I tightened in the shot, and I made what I think is a much better shot. It's nice to capture the overall shot, but if you focus in on just a small vignette of the overall picture, I think you can make a stunning shot. Okay, that's just photographic lesson for the day. Instead of trying, especially this year, instead of going, woo, look what it looks like, focus in, narrow your vision. Okay, so we also went down to Chikura, Tamworth. A lot less color down that far. I'll post in a picture right here, and it's coming along. I think by this weekend, again, that'll be one of the areas I mentioned. Will be Chikura and Tamworth. Okay. Now on October 7th, Tuesday, Lisa and I met some friends for lunch, and then we went down from Ashland over to Sandwich, New Hampshire, and it's a pretty little town, and the leaves are maybe about half gone on the trees for the most part. Not a lot of green ones left. And the maples and things that you do see, they're a little light on the leaves, but that doesn't mean they're not pretty. As you can tell, I'll pop in a couple pictures here. And I think if you frame it right, I picked up a nice white fence, the church, the orange tree maple. I think that was well worth it. Okay. Now we'll move on to the next section, which is fairs in New Hampshire. Start again with Sandwich. The Sandwich Fair starts on the 11th, ends on the 13th. I talked to the fire marshal, I believe, and he mentioned that they got about 3 large parking areas, I think at the school and then on a couple different roads. There are no parking signs everywhere around town. Nobody wants you parking in their front yard, so don't do it. Look for the big parking areas. If you like to, have a plan B, this would be a good one. Okay. St. Johnsbury is this weekend as well, the 11th and 12th. All of these are in my show notes. You'll find links. And you should try and get your tickets early if you want to go to St. Johnsbury. They've got train rides. I don't know what days and how many they have left. You'd have to go and check the website. Okay. The Topsfield Fair runs through Monday, and that's down in Massachusetts. King Richard's Fair, also in Massachusetts, runs through the 19th. So if you wish to go and watch the jousting, that might be a good thing to do. Have one of those big turkey legs and think of Jeff, because I'd love to have one of those. Okay, where to go this weekend? It's where the rubber meets the road at this time. As I noted earlier, Twin Mountain, I don't know if all of Crawford Notch, it may be bare as far as I know, but there are going to be certain areas, spots of color. There's not going to be any, this entire drive is going to be, in color. You're going to hit and miss, hit, miss, and maybe hit again. Okay. So Twin Mountain on Route 3 at 302. Route 2, I think, is going to turn into something pretty. Route 113 on Maine's western border, heading south back into New Hampshire, the Basin. North Conway, Center Conway. Try the Swift River covered bridge on West Side Road and the Saco covered bridge. You could try Jackson. I don't know if that far above Conway will be good still. It might, but it's got a covered bridge too, so there's no downside there. I would say from Conway down to Chikura, Tamworth, all the areas in and around, all the towns, maybe over to Eaton, as far south, maybe Peterborough, Dublin, home of Yankee, yay, and maybe Keene, and the 5 stone bridges of Hillsborough. Read my article on that. Go search jefffoliage.com for stone bridges, and that'll bring that up. And I can't think of a better plan B. If you're not finding the fall colors, but you want something New England scenic to go do, well, I think this will take care of you. Okay, for those who want Vermont, well, my sister-in-law posted a picture from Montgomery. I'll post that here. It's just a dirt road. She's probably riding her ATV and found a very colorful roadside color. There you go. But that's out near Montgomery. You've got 5 covered bridges. Oh, yeah, covered bridges again. Yeah, Jeff's got a thing about covered bridges. And let's see. I would say you could take a ride from Montgomery, cut across Route 15, and go over to the northwestern side. They really had very little drought this year. The trees should be very happy and holding on to their leaves longer. I haven't had any real good reviews for over there. Nobody's been reporting anything in. So, right down, you got Burlington and, Lake Champlain. Anywhere near the lake is going to be later in the month. And it could be very nice. Maybe this weekend or next weekend or even the weekend after, right along Lake Champlain. I would head from like St. Albans, Swanton. You got Hoodax and Swanton there, right near the highway, and Farm Stand and all. Head down Route 7. Go down the western side of the Green Mountains. Maybe as far as Manchester. I don't know if color would extend that far. It probably does. The drought did cross over Lake Champlain right into New York. So I would again say you may or may not find walls of color, but you will find smaller roadside color. And I think that's going to be the name of the game for much of your travels in Vermont. If you want to, come back to this video channel and, leave a comment. Tell me what you found. I'll do, that'll help everybody else. And, if you want to help everybody else, also go on New England Fall Foliage group on Facebook. Read the rules if you haven't posted there before. We like to have the, year, month, or day, month, year, and city and state, that you were at. So if you were in Manchester, Manchester, Vermont, on 11 October 2025, and post the picture. Let us know what you found there. Did you go to Hildene down in Manchester? Great little place to go. Beautiful farm. The home of Todd Lincoln. Definitely a historical place to go visit. And oh yeah, another Plan B. Okay, in Maine, Rangeley, all the way down to like Poland, Rumford, Coos Canyon, Height of Land. I don't know if Height of Land still has a lot of color. Hard to say. It was good last weekend. Paris, Mexico. Yes, you can go visit Paris and Mexico and not need your passport. Isn't that a good thing today? Okay, down in Massachusetts, John Burke, photographer, says Shelburne Falls, Route 122. Looks good to him. Look for ponds, conservation areas. Irving, which is on Route 2, the Mohawk Trail. And south of it, south of Route 2, is looking fairly colorful. The French King Bridge on Route 2 is also, it's a mixed bag. There's some browns mixed in there, some bare trees, and some orange and some yellows. Not a lot. I don't know if there's a lot of reds. He's not specific about that. The Shelburne Hills has a lot of stress turning, probably dry looking color. And I also would like to add, I'll recommend historical, Deerfield, Massachusetts. Beautiful period homes, lots of tours you can do, and a beautiful area. Plus, you've got right down the road is the Yankee Candle Company. It is still a wonderful product, and it's a destination stop in and of itself. If you got kids, not a bad place to stop because they got a lot of things aimed at kids. Go in there, you'll see what I mean. But it's a lot of fun. Okay, so I think we've covered I'll add in something that's not in my notes. Salem, Mass is always near and dear to my heart, even though it's 2.5 hours that way. That's open for business, but I would still look to get in there without your car. Go to the Red Line and go up or down. Go to Rockport, get on the train there and go down, or go to one of the other stations, Danvers or someplace, park there and take the train up. It's not that much. It's a lot cheaper for a train ride both ways than it is parking your car in Salem, because there's no free parking. I guarantee it. As a park ranger there, I knew where all of those spots were, and I filled them up early with me. But even today, the last time I was through there, a lot of the free parking that I used to be able to find as an employee working in the city, those were gone. They took them away. So in general, it's crazy time on the weekend. We're heading into Halloween, just a couple weeks away, and Halloween is on Friday night. It's like it is going to be crazy in Salem. But hey, if you're into all that witchiness, and don't forget that there's some historical things that are very accurate to be done there as well. There's a lot of haunted things that are fun to do, historical homes, and you've got the national park there. May still be closed down. Not a lot of employees, working at the moment. Sorry about that. It's just the way it is. If the Welcome Center is closed, it may not be, because they do have civilian people working in there from Destination Salem and stuff. I think it is. And or the Essex folks may be in there and have it open. But the bathrooms, that was the best thing. You had nice, clean bathrooms, cleaned all during the day. I don't know if that's going to be open. It may just be porta potties in Salem. Ooh, that might not be fun. Okay, so other than that, if you are up here, great. If you're going to be up here, great. I think we're going to see some really good colors come this weekend, okay? If you've got any questions, throw them down in the comments. I'll do my best to get to them. I do get notified after a fashion. And you can, I will get this over to my blog and a text version over there that you can refer to as you need to, when you're out on the road. If you got any questions, let me know. I want you to have a wonderful fall foliage day, and just be safe out there, okay? Thanks a lot. Bye. One of the last things I didn't want to forget is the weather. One of the bigger factors that we have to deal with is wind and temperature. Now that the rain's come through, the cold front is here. Today's temperature, low 60s, I think. And the low temperatures, you always hear me tell you, the lows, mid 30s, that's perfect to getting the colors going. Well, we're going to see the low 30s tonight, at least here in the western White Mountains, all the way down into Connecticut, Rhode Island. They're looking at 35 to 39. Okay. Now, tomorrow night, Thursday night, I'm forecasted for about 28 degrees. Now, I don't know if that'll constitute a freeze, a hard freeze or not. I don't know. We don't usually get that cold very often. But when we do, that can cause us problems with the leaves. We'll see what it's going to do to us. Overall, the weather is kind of moderate all the way through the weekend. If you're just coming in for the long weekend, if you're down in Massachusetts or something like that, then maybe lighter wearing clothes, t-shirts and a light fleece. If you're up north more, you should be looking at maybe a fleece jacket or something like that. You know, we're looking at in the 60s for your highs. We're looking at 30s for your lows at night. So we're going into the colder temperatures, and that's why I think if we're lucky, cross those fingers, everybody. Cross your fingers. Knock on wood. Now, pseudo wood. Hope for the best. Because by this weekend, if these low temperatures don't kill all the leaves, the 28s and things like that, much below that, and we're looking at a hard freeze, and the leaves are just going to go brown and down, and that's it. But I'm going to stay positive. Jeff needs to remain positive, and we need to hope that the temperatures all work in our favor, and all the rest of the colors, every place that I've mentioned, just burst. Reds, orange, gold, tutti frutti, I don't care. Give me any color you got. But I think they're going to come out and really, do their jobs, okay? So, other than that, have a wonderful fall foliage day. Have safe travels out there, and may you find all the fall colors you like to find. Okay, have a great day. Bye.